He got his attention. Now, I mean, you already made your artist use my name to get some attention. I laughed at that. It's funny to me.
They started shooting. They shot.
You shot 100 times, and ain't nothing shaking back and forth for a year and a half, 2 years of, oh man, we need to sign Dolph. No, I'm straight.
They pulled a move. They tried to get me in the car. You know what I'm saying?
Young Dolph warned us, and nobody listened. Now his words are coming true. People connected to the drama are vanishing, and Memphis is pointing the finger straight at Yo Gotti. This isn't rap beef anymore. It's betrayal, suspicion, and a possible RICO case brewing. And the receipt? They're wild. You ever hear someone give a warning and years later, that warning hits different? That's exactly what's happening right now in Memphis. A clip of young Dolph directly calling out Yo Gotti is making the rounds again. In that video, Dolph didn't hold back. He laughed at the attempts to bait him, but you could hear it in his tone. He knew trouble was coming. He accused Gotti's crew of using his name for attention, of acting tough, but not backing it up. He even told them to find a new hobby. And now that Dolph is gone, those same words are echoing across the city. People are connecting the dots, and what once seemed like rap drama now feels like something way bigger. With new allegations swirling around CMG and connections to people involved in the case, that clip isn't just a throwback. It's a spotlight, and Memphis is watching everything loud and clear. Before we dive into how things started unraveling, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're into deep dives like this. We break down the biggest stories in entertainment without the fluff, just fact, receipt, and a bit of chaos. And trust me, you're gonna want to see how this one ends. Here's where things get real. Federal investigators are not sitting back anymore. They are moving in. Word on the street is they are actively looking into Yo Gotti and his label CMG in connection with young Dolph's death. And it is not just rumored. 2 CMG affiliates have already been implicated. That alone turns speculation into something far more serious. Fans are now rewatching interviews, dissecting lyrics, pulling receipts, and suddenly everything Dolph ever said is being viewed in a whole new light. That old warning, it is not just haunting Memphis, it is igniting a firestorm. The timing is no coincidence either. Just as courtroom testimonies begin to leak, that clip of Dolph has resurfaced like a ghost, demanding answers. The energy in Memphis is tense. Locals want more than explanations. They want accountability. The streets believe the pieces are coming together. And now that the law is closing in, it is no longer about rap battles. It is about what can be proven in court. Because when federal investigators get involved, they are not coming for drama. They are coming for conviction. The tension between Yo Gotti and young Dolph was never just about a few diss tracks or social media jabs. It ran much deeper. This was a clash between two major forces from different sides of Memphis, and things got personal quickly. It all began when Gotti tried to sign Dolph to his label, CMG. On paper, it looked like a smart move. Gotti was already a dominant name in Memphis, and Dolph was the city's fastest rising star. But Dolph turned it down, respectfully. He wanted to stay independent, build his own label, and control his own future. That decision didn't sit well with Gotti. According to Dolph, Gotti even criticized his own artists during the pitch, saying he wouldn't need to babysit Dolph the way he had to with others. That struck a nerve. And from there, everything shifted. Dolph kept rising. With hits like Preach, Cut It, and Get Paid, he became a force on his own terms. Then, in 2016, he dropped an album titled King of Memphis. Young Dolph didn't just rap about the grind, he lived it. He was born into difficult circumstances, raised by a strict grandmother, and surrounded by the challenges of addiction and poverty. From a young age, He understood that nothing would come easy. He started making moves in high school, not just to get by, but with a clear vision for something bigger. In 2008, some friends got him into the studio for fun, but it quickly became clear that Dolph had real talent. By 2010, he wasn't just recording tracks. He launched his own label, Paper Route Empire. His mission was clear: stay independent, own everything, and build something lasting. That decision became the foundation of his entire career. While CMG was still trying to establish its presence, Dolph's momentum kept growing. His music resonated because it was real, focused, and full of purpose. He didn't want a cosign. He wanted control. So when Gotti made an offer, Dolph respectfully declined. That choice turned him into a legend in Memphis. He became the face of independence, the one who chose the harder road and still made it to the top. But that rise came with tension, and it made him a target for some powerful rivals. What began as a business disagreement quickly escalated into something much more serious. By 2017, the tension between young Dolph and Yo Gotti had moved far beyond the music. The first major sign that things were going sideways: Charlotte, North Carolina. Dolph was in town for CIAA weekend when his SUV was hit with over 100 rounds. Yes, 100. That wasn't just noise. It was a clear and aggressive act. Fortunately, Dolph had taken precaution. His vehicle was fully armored and not a single round made it through. And what did he do afterward? He showed up to perform that very night like nothing had happened. While most would have disappeared from the spotlight, Dolph went on stage and made a bold statement. A month later, he released a track titled 100 Shots. It was clear, confident, and aimed directly at whoever was behind it. Everyone paying attention understood the message. Dolph wasn't running. He wasn't scared. From that moment forward, the tension between them was no longer about music or egos. It became something far more personal. November 2021. Memphis came to a standstill. Young Dolph had returned to his hometown doing what he always did, showing love. He stopped at Makita's, a black-owned cookie shop he had supported for years. But in broad daylight, two men pulled up and opened fire. Just like that, Dolph's life was cut short. The city didn't just lose an artist, it lost a hero, a role model, a symbol of what it means to rise from nothing and build something powerful. Memphis was devastated and filled with emotion. Then came the arrest. First was Justin Johnson, also known as Straight Drop, someone already known in connection to Gotti's circle. This wasn't a random figure. He had been associated with that world for years. Alongside him was Cornelius Smith, another name tied to Memphis Street affiliation. At that point, the line between music and real-world conflict became undeniable. Fans, locals, even national media began viewing CMG and Yo Gotti through a different lens. Was this a coincidence or something deeper? This wasn't just another unfortunate loss. To many, it felt like the inevitable outcome of years of tension, warnings, and unresolved conflict. After Dolph's passing, things didn't calm down. They escalated. Memphis erupted with tension. One by one, individuals connected to Yo Gotti's circle, or even those who publicly mocked Dolph, began turning up in tragic situations. It felt like a domino effect, with the city watching every move. Just 6 days after Dolph's death, a Memphis comedian named D-Money, who had joked about the incident online, lost his life at a gas station. A few weeks later, Big Nusky, cousin of Black Youngsta, was also confirmed dead. Then came CEO Teezy, reportedly connected to the situation, who was targeted and fatally shot during an ambush. But the most shocking incident came in January 2024. Big Jook, Yo Gotti's brother, showed up to a family funeral. That morning, he posted on Instagram, "Stay alert to stay alive." Just hours later, he was fatally shot outside the banquet hall. To many in Memphis, this wasn't just another wave of street incidents. This felt like retaliation, swift and direct, the kind that doesn't wait on courtroom outcome. The message was loud and undeniable. Anyone perceived to be involved in what happened to Dolph was no longer safe. If there was ever a shadow of doubt, that Yo Gotti's team might have had deeper involvement in the situation surrounding young Dolph, that shadow just turned into a spotlight. During a pivotal moment in court, Cornelia Smith, one of the individuals charged in connection with Dolph's case, revealed something that sent shockwaves online. His attorney was paid $50,000 by someone linked to CMG. No, that wasn't a public defender. That came from people with status, influence, and possibly a motive to keep things quiet. And when asked if that payment had anything to do with the incident involving Dolph, Smith didn't exactly deny it. His response was vague, but loaded. Even Wack 100 called it out. If CMG funded legal help, and that funding was tied to what happened, then Gotti's name just got a lot harder to separate from the headline. That payment didn't seem like ordinary support. It looked more like a silent strategy, and people caught on quick. Now the streets are saying what the courts haven't. Yo Gotti's name might not be as clear as it seems. With Straight Drop serving a life sentence, Cornelia Smith sharing unexpected details in court, and Big Jook's sudden and tragic passing. All signs are pointing in one direction. CMG. The pressure is building. Fans are resurfacing old interviews, picking apart lyrics, and following paper trails. And what's really turning heads? The whispers of a potential federal investigation. These aren't just wild theories from internet gossip pages. These are claims from insiders like Wack 100, who insists that federal agencies are actively connecting the dots behind closed doors. If it's true that CMG provided legal support tied to what happened to Dolph, if those connections hint at deeper coordination, and if influential figures like Jook were involved behind the scenes, then Yo Gotti's entire brand could be at risk. He hasn't faced any formal consequences. No legal actions have been confirmed, but in the court of public opinion, the trial has already begun. And in Memphis, people aren't waiting on official statements to draw their conclusions. They want resolution and authentic closure. Until that day comes, what happened to Dolph will continue to follow Gotti like a shadow he can't shake. Because to many, this story isn't finished, not even close. The passing of young Dolph didn't just leave a hole in Memphis, it left a storm of questions, conspiracies, and consequences. From the resurfaced warning clip to courtroom confessions, it's clear this wasn't just rap drama going too far. This was a silent war with deadly consequences. And now, with every new piece of evidence, more eyes are turning toward Yo Gotti and CMG. The fans want justice. The streets want closure. And the feds, they just might be building their case. This story is far from finished. And you better believe we're tracking every turn, every insider leak, every move that shakes the industry. So, if you want the truth, raw, real, and fast, you're exactly where you need to be. Tap that subscribe button, turn on notifications so you never miss an update, and let's hear your take in the comments. Do you think Yo Gotti saw this coming, or was he standing too close to a storm no one could stop? Let's talk about it. This is only the beginning.